Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys a brand new Pokemon Sword and Shield video today. Today we're going to be jumping back into the rumor mill and take a look at some pretty interesting posts we found across the internet here today and trying to determine whether or not we think these could be the next leaks for Pokemon Sword and Shield or just another rumor. But nevertheless, they're fun to talk about. So again, we want to take everything with a grain of salt, so just kind of bear with me here. I think we're going to jump into it. Some pretty interesting stuff. Talk some Pokemon Sword and Shield. Should be some pretty good times. Be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe. You guys are new. We are closing out on 500,000 subscribers, which is amazing, so thank you guys for that. Also wanted to mention that I was just in Montreal last weekend and I got to meet so many of you guys in person, and I gotta say it was absolutely amazing getting a chance to meet you guys. And I also want to say so many of you guys, and I'm not even kidding, told me that you were loving the Pokemon Sword and Shield coverage, so thank you for that. It means a lot to me. I'm really glad you're enjoying our videos about Sword and Shield and rumors and everything like that. I know it gets a lot of you guys hyped up. It gets me hyped up, and it's fun to talk about. So let's jump into this one, man. The first thing I wanted to mention that I thought was pretty interesting is most recently Gardevoir and Sableye were confirmed in Pokemon Sword and Shield. And this is a list of all the Pokemon that have been confirmed so far, Charizard and so on and so forth. And one of the trends that I'm seeing is a lot of Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, previously in X and Y, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and ultimately in Sun and Moon, do have an appearance so far in the Pokedex. Not everything, but we see things like Gyarados and obviously, as I mentioned, Charizard, and a handful of these Pokemon that are shown or have been shown so far do have the ability to Mega Evolve. So I have actually passed this question to you guys. Do you guys think that all of the Pokemon that previously had Mega Evolutions, do you think that they're going to get basically Gigantamax forms? We know, like, here's Mawile and Sableye, 2 Pokemon confirmed, Manectrix confirmed, etc. So a lot of these Pokemon that had Megas are confirmed. So do you think they're going to get Gigantamax forms? And if so, do you think they're going to be very similar to their previous Mega Evolutions? It'd be a very easy way from a merch perspective for them to tie in Mega Evolutions without actually giving them Megas, without taking away too much of their power. So that could be kind of cool. But anyway, let's jump into the rumors here. This is the first one. It's a post from 4chan, and it says, I love how it's got the EA here. 97 new Pokemon, 7 of those are legendaries or mythicals. That sounds pretty fair. 500 older Pokemon in the Galar Dex, which puts about 600 Pokemon for the Dex, which is about what I would say that I kind of expected. Only Kanto, Johto, and Sinnoh starters are back. Also, very feasible in my opinion. The fact that we'll get the Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3 or Gen 4 starters rather, which would make sense since ORAS just had a remake a couple years back. And I do think that Diamond Pearl remakes are right around the corner. I do think that is something that makes a lot of sense. Eevee doesn't get an evolution, which this is one thing that makes this rumor very interesting, opposed to a lot of other rumors, is this one actually says Eevee is not getting an evolution, which is very much so against the grain for all the previous rumors that are like, hey, Eevee's definitely getting an evolution. This one's like, no. Some legendary Pokemon are going to be in. Johto is going to have Ho-Oh and Lugia. Hoenn is going to have the Weather Trio. Unova is going to have their, and then Alola is going to have their legendaries, which would be, Alola would be, what, Solgaleo, Lunala, and Necrozma, all of which has just had a shiny event, actually, or are having shiny events as we close out the year. And then it talks about some Galarian forms. So Farfetch becomes pure fighting and is exclusive to Sword, and then it evolves into Surfetch. So that we kind of know that Surfetch exists. It is pure fighting, it's exclusive to Sword. But one thing we don't know is about Farfetch. We still don't know whether we're going to get a regular Farfetch, which is normal and flying, or if we are going to get a Galarian Farfetch, which is going to be pure fighting. We actually don't know that yet. And I know that a lot of people are assuming, okay, it's got to be regular Farfetch, but that doesn't necessarily mean the case. I really feel like it could be either or. And I know you could be like, well, why didn't they just reveal Galarian Farfetch? I don't know, maybe they're just saving surprises. They haven't revealed a lot. This one also talks about Chatot, which is another Pokemon that was previously mentioned as getting a Galarian form. This talked about it exclusive to Shield. So this is the second rumor now that mentions Chatot being exclusive to Shield and being kind of the counterpart to Farfetch'd. Chatot becomes Ghost in Flying and is exclusive to Shield, evolves into a bigger parrot called Chatot. So Ghost and Flying Chatot, which I think is very interesting typing. We'll have to see. Luxio, or Shinx's line, Luxio and Luxray, becoming dark and ground as opposed to their electric typing that they have now. I think a lot of people have wanted Luxray to gain some sort of a dark typing. It definitely looks like it could be dark type, but it isn't up into this point. Maybe it'll get a Galarian form. Ponyta, becoming pure fairy type, and then Rapidash evolves into an Alicorn, which I don't exactly know what an Alicorn is, but I can guess that it's some sort of a unicorn type thing. Maybe it doesn't have, maybe it has wings. I don't know what the difference is. I'm not up to date on mythological creatures, but nevertheless, Ponyta apparently is pure fairy and evolves into Rapidash, which is an Alicorn. I'm sure a lot of people are going to tell me in the comment section. Pawniard becomes psychic and fighting as opposed to dark and steel, which is very interesting. Pawniard and Bisharp, which I do feel like would make a lot of sense in the Galar region if I'm being totally honest. And then Girafarig becoming dark and psychic, which honestly I could definitely see some spotlight shown on Girafarig. As we know, it is a normal and psychic type Pokemon. And for those who don't know, when it actually came out in the Gold and Silver demo version, it had a pre-evolution, and I believe it was supposed to be dark type if I'm not mistaken, but its design changed pretty drastically from its original design in the beta of Gold and Silver. So some pretty cool stuff there. On to page 2 here, Gigantamax Forms. All the Kanto starters, so that's Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise, apparently getting Gigantamax Forms. Pikachu, Lapras, and Gengar, 2 of which have already been detailed in the Aflac leak, so this is potentially piggybacking off of that, but nevertheless mentions Gengar as well, which is another Pokemon that has been rumored quite heavily to get a Gigantamax form. The Sinnoh starters, the first forms, wow. So this is actually saying that Piplup, what would it be? Piplup, Chimchar, and Turtwig getting Gigantamax forms, which, again, the most recent or the one leak that has been kind of our holy grail of leaks says that Pikachu gets a Gigantamax form, which means that first base Pokemon could potentially get Gigantamax forms. It's not out of the question. Now, I know it's Pikachu, so Pikachu always gets special treatment either way, but I'm not ruling it out completely. Flygon and Haxorus, I think a lot of people would love to see that. Korbinite, Dreadnought, Alchemy, Polteageist, and Eternatus. Eternatus, of course, being the final legendary that we have yet to see revealed yet. New Pokemon. The starter final types are Grass and Rock, Fire, Pure Fire, and Water Psychic. Very much so aligned with a lot of the other rumors we've seen. Korbinite has 2 pre-evolutions. Pure Flying type, which looks like a black mockingbird, and a second one that looks like a falcon. Now, from a previous kind of website leak, we know that Korbinite is a 3-stage Pokemon, and it's got 2 pre-evolutions. Alchemy has a pre-evolution, which is a Pure Fairy type, which looks similar to Swirlix. Polteageist has 1 pre-evolution and 1 evolution. First the teacup, and the second one looks like a porcelain elephant. So kind of tying into a bunch of different rumors / leaks that we've seen that indicate that Polteageist has a pre-evolution, and it's very possible that it has an evolution too. Zacian is steel and fighting, and Zamazenta is steel and fire. Eternatus is pure dark. So a lot of stuff to digest, a lot of crazy stuff here. All of which sounds, in my mind, relatively feasible. Not gonna say that it's real or not, but everything I think is pretty interesting. As I mentioned, the one line here that was very stand-outish to me was the fact that Eevee does not get a new evolution, since like every rumor under the sun has basically said that Eevee's gonna get an evolution. Does that make this one more legit? Maybe. I don't know. Let's jump into the next one here. This one's pretty interesting. It says, I love when people say stuff like this. But anyway, starter evos, drum playing gorilla, grass and fighting, so fighting and grass. Soccer playing rabbit is pure fire, and then spy chameleon is water and psychic. The Galar Pokemon, a squirrel chipmunk Pokemon who loves acorns and evolves into a bigger squirrel that uses nutshells as night armor. That's a dope idea. So we're still waiting on Grovet and Squeedun, whatever the heck they're called, the little chipmunk Pokemon that we're still waiting to have revealed from the Aflac leak. This one mentions a squirrel chipmunk Pokemon that loves acorns, and I love the idea of it using the nutshells as armor. That's so amazing. Wooloo evolves in a herd of a sheep, which goes back to that image-based rumor / leak. I think it's a leak, actually, the image. You know what I'm talking about, with the spiderweb eye, and then it's got the herd of sheep in the bottom. It's got the Machamp, it's got the fat Pikachu, and it's got the weird 8-ball guy that's supposed to be wheezing, and you know, the Gengar, Clefable. Yeah, I think that one's legit. If you don't know which one I'm talking about, you scroll back a few videos on my channel. So that talks about it evolving into a herd of sheep and then a Trojan horse ram, which is kind of an interesting idea. Impidim's final evolution is a purple bat that uses a vast array of colors to confuse its targets. Polteageist is a teapot elephant with a decor similar to the Taj Mahal. We're still waiting to see that teapot elephant. Chairman Rose seemingly throws out some sort of an elephant in an earlier trailer. A lot of rumors have pointed to some sort of a teapot elephant, but we have Polteageist, which isn't quite that. Is Polteageist gonna evolve? We don't know. We know that it's number 2 in its evolutionary line. There could be an evolved form of Polteageist, which we don't know about yet. Yamper evolves into a Greyhound Pokemon Electric type, which again, that kind of ties into what we've thought. Morpeko evolution is a combination of normal and hangry modes, electric and dark types. So this is saying that Morpeko actually evolves. which is feasible. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not possible. Regional bug is Phasmid, evolves into a walking branch and finally a walking tree. Bug and grass type. Still waiting on our first bug type, by the way. Barracuda Pokemon, the Cramorant fish, is related to Relicanth. It evolves into a swordfish Pokemon, which would be cool. I still love the idea of Cramorant picking up this little fish and spitting it out, and then that little fish evolves and gets like spikes all over it or something, so it beats Cramorant somehow, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it becomes electric type so I can just zap it. Several Pokemon based on the Godzilla monsters, and we've heard this rumor a few times. A Pixie Fairy that evolves into a moth like Mothra, bug and fairy type. We've seen a lot about Volcarona being that. Mecha Godzilla is Duraludon, and the Pseudo line being a wyvern based on Ghidorah. Eternatus, the third legendary, is a dark type, an alien that was fought, defeated, and sealed away in ancient times by Zacian and Zamazenta. Please no more aliens. The Ultra Beasts were enough, and I didn't really like them that much. Anyway, those are two rumors for you guys, two separate rumors with some pretty similar ideas, I would say. I don't know when the next batch of news is. We are gonna get an anime reveal, I think, next week, so that might give us some signs. I do think that every 2 weeks we might be getting something, so keep your fingers crossed, stay in there, hang in there, and let me know your thoughts on this, man. Let me know your thoughts on the Gigantamax and stuff. Thank you so much, guys, for all the support on our Sword and Shield videos. I've been having a blast. I hope you guys have been as well, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.